Hello guys, happy Trainer Tuesday. My dryer sounds like a mouse. Anyway, I'm coming at you here with some laundry tips. This is super important that you understand how laundry works so that you can help your customers when they have the smelly cloths, my cloth smell. So here's what's super helpful. Are you ready for this mind-blowing? Okay. So the customers that complain that their cloths constantly smell, here are a couple reasons. A couple reasons is that maybe they're using one EnviroCloth for a full 7 days. They cannot do that. They need to probably rotate through two because you want to make sure one is dry while using the other one. So you want to rotate through two throughout the week. So you want to just always recommend people have two. That's a really big deal. You want to also make sure they're doing the par wash. So that's throughout the day. You're, wiping up your surfaces, take hot water, scrub it together. That's called partial washing. That's just reactivating the silver and getting all the grime out of it. And then again, they're gonna do that before they go to bed, really well, completely wring it out, and then they're gonna hang it by its tag to dry. In the morning, that's when I get my second cloth out. So I rotate through two cloths for a week, okay? So that's usually the number one thing I'll recommend. Number two is when they're doing their laundry. So let's say you have a customer that has like 5, 6, 7, 8 Norwex things. That's still a very small load, and if they're putting in their laundry dry, you guys know that microfiber sucks up 7 times its weight in water and grime and all that stuff. So when they're putting it in their washer dry, their sensor in their machine is going to only add the amount of water that's needed to wash the cloths dry. So I know that might not make sense, but you want to really make sure they're adding this wet to their washer so that their washer knows to add more water, okay? So washers are super smart. They kind of measure out the heaviness of your load and add that amount of water to your load. So if your load is super light, it's only going to add a little bit of water. If your load is really heavy, it's going to add more water. So the problem is that people are using their detergent, right? Then they're putting their cloths in dry, usually, because they're dry by the time you do your laundry. And then the washer is automatically adding just a little bit of water because these are so light. And then what's happening is that their cloths are not getting all the gunk and soap out because there's just not enough water to dissolve and get all the nasty out, and then they're drying it and their cloths smell. Or their clothes. And then they try to solve that problem by adding more and more detergent and more crap to their loads, and that's just making the problem worse. So first rule of thumb is less is more. So with laundry soap, less is more, because when soap doesn't dissolve or you use too much, that's what makes your laundry smell, is soap. And I know I grew up adding tons of soap like this much and then tons of fabric softener, but that does not make our clothes smell good. It makes our clothes smell bad, and then the chemicals in all those soaps just disguise the bad smell. So we want to teach our customers less is more. The second trick is that I always add water to my loads now. So let's say I put my Norwex cloths in there. I always have a bucket in my sink area down here. I just fill it with hot water, and then I just pour it on top of my cloths. Or, here's another trick. I will leave my cloths in a bucket as I do my laundry throughout the week. I'll just put all my cloths in a bucket so that they're wet, and then when I add them to the washer, I just dump all the wet crap into the washer. And then we use a teaspoon for high efficiency, a tablespoon for non-high efficiency. I always recommend doing an extra rinse and add a 1/3 cup of vinegar either just to the top or to the fabric softener slot, okay? So this is gonna solve a ton of problems. Ever since I've gotten my cloths wet, and I actually do it with my clothes as well. Like for example, right now I just have all of our regular clothes in there. Once I always usually add a whole one. Once I've been doing that, it really has made all my stink issues, I don't have stink issues ever. Even with Dave's disgusting clothes or Cole's pee-pee pants, I don't have any smells because I always add the water so that when it measures how much water the washer is going to actually put in there, it's measuring it based on the fact that the load is heavy. Does that make sense? So that's a super good trick, and again, less is more. And then you guys know we always put our cloths into the dryer on hot. That will just fluff them back up. And I will ask customers oh, well, do you put your cloths in the dryer? And they're like, well, I usually don't because I smell my cloths first, and sometimes they smell. I'm like, sometimes wet microfiber has this weird smell to it. Just put it in the dryer. on hot, it'll be fine, no dryer sheets. So I hope those tips are helpful to you. I know they've been helpful to me, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.